to A Simple Life with boys. Herman's here with me. We are doing some wood processing today. The boys are filling up the dump, or partially filling up the dump. They're just doing some work. Herman and I are gonna split some wood, but I wanted to talk about our wood splitter. I've mentioned it in the past, how amazing it is. I wanna talk about what it is. This is not an ad, this is nothing. This is just what I've found that works really good. It's a Kinetic wood splitter. So what it has is it has two 90-pound flywheels and a little gas motor, a little 196cc motor, and this thing rips. It is.
Tell him it's much better than hydraulic.
Yep, it's much better than hydraulics. You run a lot of hydraulic splitters.
Oh yes.
And is this better?
Oh, much better, much better, much better. So here's how I got it. Much faster.
Oh yeah, it's way faster. Here's how I got it. I was looking to buy one. I looked at a couple American companies to find out that the one American company had stopped making them. The other one had raised the price by about 20%. And so I was like, that's really interesting. And so I started digging around to find out that neither of the companies made them. They were both importing them from China. And so I said, well, let me see if I can find the company that actually imports them from China, like the actual manufacturer in China. I found it. So I ordered one. I ordered that. I ordered a few other things from China. I did a big old huge order of equipment, stuff that I couldn't buy in the US without paying 3 times as much, and it was all just being imported. And so instead of paying an American company to put something together for me and then say it was made in America, I just went to China and got it. That's not the most popular thing, but you know, when American companies will make good, competitive products, I'll buy their products. And I will pay the money for it when it's a competitive product at a competitive price. And a good example of that is my boots. These boots, Nick's custom boots out of Spokane, Washington. I love them. They stand behind their product. They make an amazing product, way better than anything I could buy at your local farm store. I mean, they literally have been destroyed by me and they're still holding up. I'm gonna have them resold this winter. I'm actually gonna be buying another pair of boots pretty soon from them. That's just one. Another company is, that I really like, Hank's Belts. Make a great leather belt. It's the belt I wear every single day. It's like a 1/4 of an inch thick. The thing just, it's great. You know, it'll probably last me 15-20 years like the last belt I had did. And so the last belt wasn't from Hank's, it was just a good leather belt. Long story short, when American companies are competitive, I will buy American every time. I'm not gonna spend my money on subpar equipment that's American made just because it's an American made. I'm gonna get off my high horse. Me and Herman are gonna split the rest of this ash real quick. Okay, so we've had a problem, and it started being a little bit of a problem last week. The tire was flat and then it popped off the bead. And so we're having an issue. We tried to use a remote, like a air tank to fill it up, but it just doesn't have enough power to push the bead on. I have a trick to do this. I wanna see if it'll work. I wanna show the boys the trick, to be honest, because there's another option that a lot of people go for, which is like a starter fluid or something like that. You spray it and you get it right underneath the bead and then you light it and it goes poof and it puts the tire on, which is great. It works good. It works really good for bigger tires. The smaller tires, I don't always trust it. Like a big Jeep tire, off-road tire, something like that, I feel like it works great for. Or even a car tire in a pinch it would work good for. Something like this, I feel like it's just a little too small. And these tires are fairly cheap. They're not very well made. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I say that because they're small, and generally small tires, they don't have the same testing rigor that a car or truck tire has. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a strap to do the exact same thing, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do it right now. And you wanna make sure that your strap is right in the middle of the tire. So that's gonna start applying the pressure, hopefully pretty evenly. So boys, I want you to see, if you tighten this down, okay, and what it does is it forces the bead, okay, to the outside on a small tire like this. This isn't gonna work as well on a big one. Why don't you give me some air and we'll see if this sets it. All right, let me see. Okay, so what we have is now this is nice and tight, and I'll show you. Okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna open it all the way. There you go. All right, so straps off. This has enough air. The bead's on. Give me some air over there. All right, that's enough. So there you go. That's how you can do it without having to use starter fluid, especially on a hot summer day like we have here, where the humidity level is very low. We just had a bunch of fire scares in the area, and so you really don't want to use starter fluid when you can avoid it. All right, boys, go return those items, and we'll get back to chucking wood. All right, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so we got almost all that Oregon ash split. The boys did a phenomenal job. I helped a little bit at the end, filling the truck up. We got about 2 cords of wood in there, give or take a little. And I want to say thank you to the boys. Was it easy?
No.
Was it easy, Clay? It was hard work, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You guys ready to go play and have fun?
Yes.
I don't know what they're gonna go do, but they're gonna go do some fun. Jumping on the trampoline and
wrecking on our bikes.
Yeah, they're almost professional at wrecking on their bikes.
Dad, I'm gonna go wreck on my bike. Can you go save me?
No. So we didn't tell the story what happened to you, did we?
No.
Do you want to talk about it? Okay. So the other day we were up here. We had some friends over. We were kind of doing a.
It was Labor Day.
Yeah, it was Labor Day, and we were doing a little bit of like a farm tour. And Clint stayed home to play with his friend Luca, which you guys will meet Luca soon. He's gonna come and be helping us. And Clay was up here with the rest of us, and he was riding his bike. And he came down the hill, the same hill that Clint crashed on, but he came down, and part of the way down the hill, his brake cable popped out. And he's flying down the hill. He was cranking, and he screams. And by the way, myself and Chris and Seth were walking up the hill. We were talking about the apple orchards and that kind of stuff. And Clay comes down, and he, about 30 feet away, he screams,
Dad, I have no brake.
Yeah, and you were scared out of your mind, right?
Yeah.
And so I had about a split second to think, and I realized that it was gonna suck. I would literally go, man, this is gonna suck. And what happened next, buddy?
You grabbed the front of my bike, and then I fell down, kept on rolling down the hill.
Yeah. So I just kind of jumped in front of his bike and grabbed the handlebars and soaked up as much of the energy as I could until me, the bike, and him went flying. And he walked away with a couple scrapes right here and a big old road rash there and some road rash on the side of his head. And you might say, why would you jump in front of your kid's bike? Well, because beyond me, I could hear Herman coming up the road on his Kubota, and Herman wasn't going to be able to get out of the way. And next to that was blackberry bramble, which would have just torn him to smithereens. And on the other side of the road, there were trees and trucks. And so we didn't have much of an option, did we, buddy?
No.
No. So I took one for Team Clay, but it's okay. You were well worth taking a trampoline by your bike. And then what did I teach you how to do? So that way that never happens again.
To put your foot on the back.
Yeah, so I showed him how, something that we did as kids, which was just like an emergency brake. You just put your foot on the back tire and you push down, and your foot becomes the brake against the tire. So I showed both the boys how to do it. and now they are very proficient at it. I made sure they knew how to do it so we'd never have that incident again. We're gonna get this couple cords of wood down to our place, and then we're gonna come up and do it again.